Okay, so next card, if you don't mind there, Jeff. This is a little chopping of some heads.
To the true death.
This is actually a perfect example of what we just talked about. Chopping a head, okay, but it was this part that they didn't think about, and we just started doing these tests. I know it looks stupid, but check this out. Finally got one.
Oh, nice bow.
So that's where that idea came from. The actual magistrate's head, when he hits the ground, pops like a water balloon. And that's Dan and Andre, having a water balloon fight in the shop.
Well, basically, that was, in regards to the question you just asked about, hey, sometimes we do this stuff on spec, that was exactly that. Because it was describing the script that the hand did smash it.
To the true death.
But when Mark they had said, and Mark had mentioned to everybody, he's like, well, that's too bad because Dan's got this video test he's been working on. And Alan said, it's like, well, before we nix that, let's look at the video test. And it was basically that test that you just saw that got that effect in the show.
That's Alan Ball, by the way. Alan Ball, who was the creator and producer of the show, we also did 6 Feet Under with and a few of his features. And he's a huge fan of this stuff, which is great. And whenever Dan or Mark comes in with some bloody video, he's always the first in line to see it. He loves it. So.
And again, another really good example of visual effects, makeup effects, integrating together with Zoic, handling the post side of that. And also they were on set too, with the green screen and the likeness edit. So you got a beautiful collaboration, and you just don't care how it's done. It just looks great.
Okay, let's go to the next slide, please.
I think this is a video.
It is called slide. Most of them here, so we have to do the sound. And again, no limit to the sacrifices that our team will do. So, Dan, how did you do this?
Well, basically, this was kind of interesting. The way we had set this up is it's basically a half stake. And the half stake is set up with a metal attachment in the base of it. The tip is added as a visual effect. But basically, in the base of the wound, we had a magnet. So basically, you just place the stake there and the blood would spray around it.
Sorry, excuse me, a little closer.
I think they can hear me. I have a loud enough voice to be
Are you able to hear everything in the back? You're okay?
You can hear me?
Okay. Cool.
But anyway, that's basically the way.
Just do what he says.
That's basically the way it was done. Half stake, visual effects, blade replacement, and a prosthetic with a magnet.
And then lots of spraying good blood.
Lots of spraying good blood.
That's a lovely blood.
You know what's really creeping me out, by the way? Every time they do a close-up on Dan, they've got a decapitated head in front of them. So it's like Dan and his head.
I think Dan's photos ever since he was a kid had a severed head with us.
And you guys know he's also got a heart over here, right?
Oh, yeah.
Is this like your security heart?
This is breakfast.
Yeah, like I said, on True Blood, a lot of people lose their hearts, so we brought a heart along.
How's that second cup of coffee working for you guys, all right? What else we got here?
Okay, so anybody aware that tonight is the premiere of True Blood? So I don't know if you've seen the pre-advanced 8 minutes, but it does introduce the goblins, which are some new characters to the world of True Blood. Why don't we hit that slide if you don't mind? This is kind of some first scribbles that we did, just to kind of get the ball rolling. What do you guys want? And again, working with this production, they're really great folks to come up with ideas and spitball with. And so we approach things a variety of different ways: photoshopped, scribbling on napkins, to bringing real things in. Let's go to the next slide. And so as we got some feedback, we kept pushing the photoshops a bit. And one thing about True Blood that I love is Dan supervises the show for us, and he knows the show so well by reading the books and being pretty much at every meeting that he really does speak the language. And I even came to Dan and said, oh, we should do this big crazy goblin, blah, 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 blah. And he was, like, no, let's pare it down. That's probably not what they want. And sure enough, he was able to nail exactly, the direction that they wanted to go. And it required, more of topical prosthetics rather than big monster-y pieces. And we went out looking for actors that had a unique, physical size, shape, and a lot of thin people. And then let's hit the next slide here. Some of the early tests that we did. This in particular out an actor named Guy Perry, who we've used in a variety of different things. In fact, was even in True Blood before. If anybody remembers the end of the second season.
End of the second season.
He was the guy in the sink.
The naked guy in the sink. Yeah.
Everybody remembers the naked guy in the sink. I'm sure he'll do conventions signing autographs. Naked guy in the sink.
Well, on the note of the design, you also notice our goblins all have basically blunt teeth. On our early concepts, we drew everything with fangs, and one of Alan Ball's notes to us was, we don't want to get goblins confused with werewolves and vampires, so we wanted us to come up with a teeth design that didn't involve fangs. Personally, I wish we would have had some fangs in them, but, Alan knows what he wants.
So these guys premiere tonight, 9 p.m., so hopefully you can check it out. And actually, one more slide here.
We're putting this up on YouTube, by the way. This is just between us.
This is a mask that Dan created as a proof of concept that our show's creator, Alan Ball, here is wearing. Just to show you how much he's into the show. As soon as he saw this, he grabbed it and had to put it on. This is actually his Facebook photo. So Alan's a really great guy. In fact, he made this panel possible this morning. So big thanks to Alan and all the team at True Blood. And
thank you, Alan.
Thank you very much, Alan. And also big thanks to Alan and all his team for making, I think, the best vampire shows since Dark Shadows, maybe. I don't know. It's been a really good ride. We've really enjoyed it. So hopefully they announce it's the last year next year. So hopefully we can do it even crazier for you.
Well, another note I wanted to bring up here, what Alan's actually wearing is a mid-ground mask. Since we have to do so many goblins, there's only so much time on a TV schedule, only so many characters actually have custom makeups. So we created a lot of these, what we call mid-ground masks, that will hold up at maybe 10 feet away, that we can basically put on generic performers and really expand the numbers of our goblin horde.
Just out of curiosity, when you get a new character like a goblin or something like that, what do you have to go on when you start designing? Are there any descriptions in the script, or is it a call from Alan or one of the writers who say, you might reference something that he's seen on something in the past, or because on television you only have a certain amount of time to do something. I would imagine you have to focus on a core idea pretty quickly. Otherwise, you're going to have a lot of wasted designs.
Well, yeah, I mean, again, as Tom mentioned, this is our fourth time around on the show, so you kind of get an idea of what they like design-wise. I mean, basically, a story comes up when it came to designing the main ad. It was described in the script as a demonic bullhead. And the first designs that we did were more of a demonic minotaur. And I remember getting an email from Alan. It's like, you're not supposed to be trying to design the coolest special effects monster ever. You're supposed to be designing a mask that would actually be in Marianne's house. And I responded to Alan. It's like, sorry, Alan, I was designing a mask that might be in my house.
Well, that's actually a good point. Ever since 6 Feet Under, we really learned early that these shows are about the story. It's not an effects show. We don't want it to be an effects show. We want the stuff to just be part of the experience. So hopefully you enjoy it like you do the characters and like you do the storylines. And we don't want to make it, show over here, effects over there. We want it all to really be one thing. And another reason for us doing the tests, everybody can kind of smell the tests and really get, tonally we can adapt if necessary. On that note, we actually, if you like those tests, we cut a few more random ones together. So, Jeff, if you don't mind, let's hit that next one. This is my sound effects library going bad.
Get zero rolling. And
So maybe a few tunings in the mix. They said we couldn't put music to